What's up, world? What's up, world? This your boy Dyson from Lifestyle Motivation. If you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, find a reason to smile because you are blessed and highly favored at the end of the day. There's too much going on in the world for you to be stressing over the simple things, right? Over the little things that don't even matter, right? So step your game up, elevate your life. Let's get motivated. So today's topic is about relationship building, right? Or I'm gonna say relationship coaching for longevity, right? We have a lot of people that's been married 20 plus, 30 years, 40 years, right? That are even unhappy being married that long. You even have some that have been married that long that are sufficiently happy, right? Genuinely happy, right? But just because they've been in those relationships that long doesn't mean that they didn't go through ups and downs, right? You have people that have just got married or just got in a relationship that's tremendously happy, but they don't know that life is gonna throw ups, downs, highs, lows, whatever it is, that's gonna try to steal their joy and that peace that they have, right? So how do we prevent younger folks, middle-aged folks, older folks from getting in a relationship and then 10, 20, 30 years down the road, they decide that they want to get a divorce. They decide that, nah, this relationship ain't working. I done wasted these 10 years. I done had these kids. I'm walking out of here. How do we prevent that as mentors, as role models, as people that are watching us, or should I say the people that are in these healthy relationships? How do we pass this knowledge on to prevent this from happening for the people that admire us, right? Or people that just watching us and you don't even know they watching you. Like I always tell you, you never know who's watching you, so always stay on top of your game. So I have some tips here. I've been married myself, be 10 years in August, right? Was previously married, have been through a divorce, right? Not ashamed to say it at all. God just had other plans and led me down another direction, right? So with everything that I done experienced in my life, right? And now being in a healthy relationship, it's time to share this information. I have parents, I have in-laws, right? I have friends and stuff that been in relationships. I know people that possibly been in longevity relationships and got divorced, but that's not today's topic. It's about sharing is caring, as my kids would say. And how can I do or give you one bit of advice that would keep you from going down a road that is detrimental to the rest of your life or wasting your time, should I say. So this is for the men and the women, right? The young boys, the young girls, hey, even the gray-headed folks, hey, that feel like they know everything, hey, still this for you as well. So please listen up. I think I got about 10 here that I'm gonna go through real quickly and share this game, as I call it, to create a healthy relationship. Number one is, and everybody gonna think number one should always be God, but everybody is not a true believer in God. But at the same time, I'm gonna tell you the number one thing is gonna be God, right? Ensure that you have if you don't believe in God, have a healthy spiritual grounding in your relationship. And that healthy spiritual grounding is for both of you all, whether you're the same sex partner or you male, female, it doesn't matter, right? You need to have a spiritual grounding that's gonna elevate your relationship to the next level when you cannot handle things yourself. Someone that you can go to when you don't have nobody to go talk to. When your own partner, you can't even talk to them, right? You have that spiritual grounding that's gonna bring you back to reality to say, okay, this is how you should handle that situation. This is how you should handle that argument that you're going through. But to my men, Do not get so caught up in spiritual grounding and reading God's word to where you neglect the fact that your woman is a helpmate, right? Your woman is your rib. So, right, if someone remove some of your organs or part of your limbs, right, can you still walk, right? Will you still need someone there to support you? Yes. So always look at your partner, male or female, as a need, right? Someone that I need. I need them to support me, right? I want them to support me, right? And through that spiritual grounding, you build that relationship with God, and both of you become equal, and both of you are on the same page to where nothing can ever break that bond. No matter how hard anybody try to tug on you, how hard that pretty woman or that handsome man try to tug on you, right? Even the people in the church try to tug on you to detour you from having a healthy relationship just because their relationship has failed. You have that spiritual bond. So next is let go of your pride and your egos. When you're in a relationship, there's no room for pride and egos, right? It's no room. When you let go of your pride, you allow communication to step in, right? You allow things to be seen from a 360 point of view to where every conversation is not just about you, right? Everything that goes on is not just about you. It's about the betterment of your marriage, your partnership, your relationship, right? So you both are on the same page, right? And then next is, right, be strong together. When you're in relationships, you have to be strong together, right? You should never step outside of your home and allow someone else to disrespect your partner, right? And your partner should never allow someone else to disrespect you, right? Yes, there's right, and yes, there's wrong, of course. But when you're both on the same page when it comes to mentoring your children, right? Parenting your children, right? When you're on the same page, even if you don't have children, for as your dreams, visions, and your goals, to where you know what that next person wants in life, right? And then you support each other wholeheartedly, 130, 40, 200% together, right? No one can ever break your bond, right? So even when you go to a party and everybody else is having their differences and these other relationships are failing and everybody looking at you like, how in the hell is y'all relationship like that? It doesn't mean that you all don't have problems or have debates, right? Or disagreements. But at the end of the day, you know how to collectively come together as one to say, baby, I understand you. Baby, I'm sorry. Again, letting go of that ego. Hey, I apologize. Let's sit down and work this thing out together, right? And then you support that wholeheartedly because you are the foundation. Y'all have that foundation that no one can ever come between and destroy, right? So, next is, right, support each other's dreams, visions, and goals. Always. Point blank. Always. Talk to each other about what the other person wants in life, right? That's day one. So all my young people that's just getting in relationships, hey, even though y'all may not fully know what you really, really want to do in life, but know that we're gonna go to school, right? We're gonna get these degrees together, right? Even if you're in separate schools or whatever, right? Boom, I'm gonna start this business and I'm gonna work this job over here. My goal is to get promoted on this job and be that top supervisor, right? At this job, right? You have to think big, never think small. Especially when you're in a relationship, because a lot of times when you start a relationship, you're probably at the very, very bottom. I'm gonna say for my younger people, right? You're not really financially stable. Your credit is all over the place, right? You thinking about getting a home or living together. You haven't stepped into that zone yet, right? You haven't had children, so you don't know what's gonna come. You don't know each other, right? Fully. But if you communicate and do all of these steps, it's gonna make everything better. To where you live a healthy longevity relationship with that partner, right? To where nothing or no one is ever gonna break that bond, right? So the next thing is stand up for each other. Stand up, all my men. You should be standing up right now. If you're driving, stay sitting down. But if you sitting down and you listen to this, stand up and be a man. A man takes care of his household, right? At the end of the day, a man takes care of his household. A man makes hard decisions, right? Even when he don't want to. Even if he don't know what's the true outcome of that gonna be, as long as you make the right move, that move is gonna be beneficial for your family. And then when you making moves, you communicate those moves with your partner, right? You communicate those moves to your partner. So at the end of the day, you let your partner know what's going on, right? To keep them from stressing, right? And it can go both ways. It's just like communication. Communication goes both ways, right? When you communicate up and you communicate down, as they tell you in a transformational lifestyle, you have to transform your life for the better. And how you do that is standing up for each other, right? A man, or should I say a woman, doesn't want a man that's never going to stand in the gap for her, that's going to let everybody put her down. Not saying you're going to always be argumentative, but you're going to know, hey, you're going to read the signs. Look, that's aggravating my wife a little bit. Hey, can y'all please tone it down? Babe, what's going on with you, right? Never assuming. In relationships, you never assume, right? You ask, hey, is there anything that I can do to help you, right? Or you want to talk about it? And then if they say, no, I don't want to talk about it right now, y'all go y'all separate ways for right then, and then y'all come back later and talk about it, right? But be willing to stand up for each other. Be willing to have those communications or those conversations to know, hey, that's sort of frustrating. All right, let's tone it down a little bit, right? This person over here is bothering her. Hey, know how to have those tough conversations. Because when you get in relationships, hey, even when you have kids, it's going to be sometimes where you have to have a positive mind going into that conversation, because you know that conversation can go from 0 to 60 real quick, especially when it's coming in talking about your significant other, right? So you have to know how to control your temper. You have to know how to understand your partner, right? And sometimes you have to know how to sit back as a king or a queen and be like, they got it, right? At the end of the day, they got this, right? They got this. So right now, I don't have to step in, but I'm there with my shield and my sword to protect them if I need to, right? So always be willing to stand in the gap for your partner, right? Next is parent together, right? A lot of times, especially as new parents, you don't know, right? You don't know when your kid is going, one kid come to you and say, hey, can I have a snack? But mommy already done said they can't have a snack, right? Or when they're in school and they learning whatever it is, that's because dad is working all day, right? Mom is sitting there handling the homework and stuff. That doesn't mean that dad doesn't have to come home and check on his kids to say, hey son, hey daughter, what's going on with your schoolwork? What them grades looking like, right? Let's read this book together, right? Hey babe, what did y'all go over today? To stay in constant communication, right? You have to show concern, right? And then input yourself into the equation of trying to understand what is going on at school, trying to understand what is going on even when you have left the house to go to work, right? So be more involved. When you're more involved, right, there's less questions that you have to ask sometimes. Always remember that, right? You know what's going on. And when you talk and communicate with your partner, you both are still, at the end of the day, on the same page, right? So next is the big one, communication. And everybody gonna say communication is the number one thing in every single relationship. It is. But these days, we communicate with electronics. If you're gonna build a healthy relationship, you have to talk, right? Electronics do not respond how people will, right? Electronics lead to assumptions, right? You never know the tone of voice when you're talking through someone through a text message, right? Unless they got it in all caps and you know they screaming at you, right? But at the same time, learn to put your phones down. Even if that's for an hour a day to where y'all sit down and y'all communicate and y'all talk. When you're riding in the car, put your phones down, sit down, talk, communicate, have conversations about what's going on. I don't care what it is. It can be what went on at work. It can be what went on with your kids. Hey, you can be even in the car when you talking about somebody else and you like, God dang, I don't understand why they did something like that, right? But be willing to talk, right? And understand what that person's day was like. Sometimes you have to learn to close your mouth and listen, right? That's another step for today. Be willing to listen in a relationship, right? Listen to allow that person to be heard, right? And when you listen, you create that additional transformational relationship so you can elevate your relationship to the next level, right? So listening is the next thing. Don't get frustrated when they say something that doesn't go along with how you think it should be. Learn to listen. Learn to have those tough conversations where you say, okay, invite me into your world, right? Let me know what I did that disappointed you, right? And then once they tell you, and then you apologize, no matter what that is. And I'm gonna be real. Whether you done cheated, whether you didn't take the trash out, right? Whether you didn't step in the gap for them when they needed you to be there to support them, right? Whether you didn't pay them bills on time like you were supposed to, right? Well, you said you was going out there to get that job, but you've been sitting your lazy butt down on the couch all day long, doing nothing, right? And they come to you and you all have a conversation and communicate that out. And you apologize and say you sorry, right? You can't let that shit happen again, right? Because now you know how they feel. You know how that made them feel. You know they love language. You know what disappoints them. You should never in a relationship want to disappoint your partner to the point to where you keep having a repetitive negative attitude when the only thing they want to do is be great with you. So next thing is do what needs to be done. At the end of the day, do what needs to be done in your relationships, right? And then if you always keep that mentality where, hey, if I gotta go out here and rake leaves, I'm gonna rake these leaves. If I gotta go out here and mow this grass, I'm gonna go mow this grass, right? If I gotta go out here and work 2 jobs to make sure me and my family is gonna be okay, I'm gonna do that, right? But don't feel just because you're bringing in the bacon, as they say, that's the end be all. You still have to do all these different things that I just mentioned, right? And then the last thing, and I'm gonna close it out with this, is don't be average. Be great in your relationships. The same thing that you did as a man to get that woman, continue to do that, right? Whether that's bringing her flowers, going to get her cards here and there, right? Going to get her favorite dinner or whatever, taking her here, right? But always know your limits. Live within your means, right? Don't worry about everybody outside of your relationship and all that negative noise. Focus on the positivity and continue to build that positive relationship within your home. And then if you do all these things, you will create a positive relationship for longevity. As always, take these tips, create a lifestyle.